Hello students, this is Sudeep Yadav from Spectrum Chemistry and students. Today in this video we are going to start a new chapter, that is a precious resource, that is a water. And the chapter number is 16, class 7th, subject science. And this is the first part of this chapter. And in this video we will discuss about the water and its importance for human beings. So let's start students. Introduction. Water. Water is one of the most common and useful substances around us. Water is essential for the existence of all forms of life because the life is sustaining in presence of the water, and the number of the processes in which we are using the water, like the plants also, they are having the need of water to do the photosynthesis process and the other things to do the all different processes, like the in case of the human beings, from morning till evening we having the need of the water to do the different processes. So the importance of the water for animals as well as the plants as well as the human beings, this is a very important for our life to sustain us. Okay, after knowing the importance of water, awareness is being created by different organizations of the world. And for this, the day we are celebrating, that is 22nd March, is celebrating as the World Water Day. This is very important, and this day is we are celebrating to create the importance, to create the awareness in between the people. So this is very important day, that is World Water Day, to attract the attention of everybody towards the importance of the conserving water. The year 2003 was recognized as International Year of Fresh Water. So here we have discussed some important facts. Now let's see what is the quantity of water we have. So let's see water available for us. If we take a picture of Earth from outer space, it appears blue because of the presence of water in the form of sea and ocean. About 71% of surface of the earth is covered with the water only. So means only 29% is the land mass, land surface. So of the total water present on the earth, that is 97.4% is in the seas and oceans. But it is not fit for human consumption because this is a salty water. Fresh water in a usable form is present in just a small fraction of all water present on the earth. Come to the next point beta, that is different forms of water, that is solid state. If we talk about the solid state, so solid, in the solid state water, that is the water exists in the solid form as the ice and the snow on the earth. And if we talk about the liquid state, water exists in the liquid state in rivers, lakes, oceans and under the ground. And if we talk about the gaseous state, water exists as water vapor in the atmosphere. So these all the forms in which water is existing in the earth. Okay, on the earth. So now come to the next point, that is the water cycle. So water cycle is playing a very crucial role to maintain the water quantity on the earth. So the water cycle is a natural process that continuously happens on the earth. The water cycle maintains the amount of the water on the earth. It can be divided into 4 phases. Means this cycle will complete into the 4 phases. So come to the first point, that is the evaporation. It is a process when the water from the earth's surface gets converted into water vapor. Why? Because due to the sunlight. Due to the heat of the sun, the water vapors then gets into the air in the form of vapor. Okay, so this is the evaporation process. Second, condensation process. The water vapor rises up in the atmosphere and get accumulated above, condenses and form water droplets. So this is the condensation process. These droplets collect together and form the clouds. Okay, now come to the third step, that is the third phase, you can say, that is the precipitation process. When the volume of the droplets increases in the atmosphere, it falls on the earth as rainfall, also called as the precipitation. So means first will be the evaporation, then cloud formation, that is known as the condensation process, and after that it will convert into the droplets, that is the precipitation reaction. This is the precipitation process. Okay, and the last, that is the collection of the water. As the water falls back to the earth, it travels along the surface and gets accumulated at the different places like the lakes, like the rivers, like the ponds, like the seas, like the oceans, and under the ground also. That's how the amount of water is regulated on the earth. So this was the water cycle. Okay, and by this figure you can understood that how the water cycle will complete. So you can see in this figure. Okay, come to the next point, that is the groundwater as the important source of water. How can we say the groundwater is the very important source of the water? Let's see, students. The water that falls on the earth's surface slips inside the earth and gets accumulated in the cracks and gaps of the rocks present inside the earth. So it means in between these rocks it will be accumulate, it will be stored there. The water table is called the upper limit of the layer of water. Is it clear? The water table is called the upper limit of the layer of water present beneath the earth. The water table can vary from one place to the another. Means if you talk about the Rajasthan, there is a water table will be goes down. If we talk about the northeast areas, there will be water table will be good. So the variation, you can see the variation of the water table in a country also. So means in the different places the water table will be different, the water table level will be different for the different places. The water that present beneath the water table of a place is called the groundwater. So the whatever the water will store here, it will be known as a groundwater. This water gets accumulated inside the earth because of the different sources, that is rainwater that falls on the earth slips inside the ground. So this is the first source of the accumulation of the water in the groundwater. Water in the rivers, lakes and the ponds often slips into the earth and get accumulated as the groundwater. So both are the important ways, or you can say sources, through which the water table, the groundwater quantity will maintain. Okay, now come to the figure. You can see in this figure, this is the very important figure. You can see here there's a gravels, in between the gravels water is stored. in between the fractured rocks there is a water will store. Okay, and you can see just above layer there is a water table, you can see here. Okay, groundwater, saturated zone, unsaturated zone, land surface, surface of the water, this is the pond. From here the water will again slips down inside the earth. Okay, and it will be the part of the groundwater. So this is the important figure. Now come to the next point, that is the infiltration. The process by which water accumulates into the ground by traveling through the soil pores is called the infiltration. So this is very important. The process by which means how the water is accumulating through the soil pores. Okay, so this is known as a infiltration. And second important term, that is the aquifer. The underground layer of the rocks that contain the water present between their rocks, their cracks and empty space is called the aquifer. Okay, so this is also a very important term, infiltration as well as the aquifer. Now how groundwater, underground water can be obtained, how we can obtain that? Groundwater is generally obtained by digging wells, using the hand pumps and the electric pumps to use it, to extract it from the water table. So these are the ways. Now uses of the groundwater. Groundwater is a fresh water and therefore can be used for the various purposes such as consumption for the drinking or the drinking water, domestic chores, irrigation of the crops, water services in public building and the offices, firefighting and industrial purposes. So these all are the important ways where we are using the groundwater. Now come to the next point, that is the water table depletion. The water table of a place may decrease if we keep on taking out more water than what is getting replenished due to rainfall. Means the replenishment rate is the less and we are extracting the water rate is the more. So means the water table deplete because it will be disturb the equilibrium. Is it clear? So there are the several factors that can cause the water table depletion. So what are the important factors that is the causing the water table depletion? Let's see. That is number first, that is increasing the population. This is very important factor. As our population increases, so we having the need of the water to sustain our life, to do all the different processes. So we need more water for drinking, washing, cooking and cleaning. So means our need will increase if the population will increase. We also need more number of the houses to survival, offices, shops and roads also. This means more construction work and the construction itself uses lots of water itself. Most of the time it is the groundwater. Besides this, there is a less open area which can seep in the rainwater into the ground. So means if we are constructing the more infrastructure, that is the roads, buildings, so means the space through which water can seep down inside the earth, which can cause the maintenance of the water table. But if we are constructing the buildings, if we are constructing the roads, so means the space will be decreased and the water table will also be decreased because the replenishment of the water is not going on. Okay, now come to the second point, increasing industries. Every industry requires water in its production processes. As a number of the industrial industries increases, more water is drawn from the ground. All of these result in depletion of the water table. So this is also a very important factor, because if there's a number of the industries, so we having the number of the huge quantity of the water to process the things in the industries, so means the water table will deplete. Okay, now agriculture activities. In case of the no or low rainfall, farmers use the groundwater to irrigate their land for the agriculture. This depletes the water table over the years also. And deforestation is also a very important factor. We know that the plants and trees keep the soil bounded together and allow absorption of water in the soil. Uprooting them exposes the first layer of the soil, which can get washed away easily. So forests are very important. This affects the water table of that region also. And last one is a very important factor, that is the low rainfall. In places where there is a low or scanty rainfall, the underground water table is generally low, like the Rajasthan. There is a very low rainfall rate. Okay, and if you talk about the northeast India, so there is a very high rainfall rate. So where the rainfall rate will be high, so means there is a very good water table. And in this figure you can see how year by year to year, the water table is going down. In the first year, you can see here, supposed to here is the 2018 January. You can see in the first figure, in the just left hand side, you can see here the red dotted line. The water table is very good, and after some time, in the next year, the water table has goes down. Okay, and gone down. Okay, and in the last year, it has been very goes down. Okay, so this is the depletion of water table. So I hope students you must have enjoyed this video. So thank you students.